considers this a violation of our First Amendment rights, but I believe that you, the consumer, may suffer as a result. Look, all lawyers and law firms are not the same. How do you know if the firm you hired or are about to hire is any good or not? There are lawyers out there who may never have been to trial for an injury case, and if so, not many times. The lawyer you hire can have a direct result on your final outcome. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about us, our results, and our verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
At Advance Auto Parts, we don't just sell parts. Oh, no. We get you the part you need. Lickety-split. Our knowledgeable team members will do the legwork, arm work, or torso work, whatever it takes, to make sure you don't just get a part, you get the right part. Fast. Plus, right now, get up to $50 back by mail when you buy Moog steering and suspension products. Only at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details. Mail-in rebate. Void where prohibited.
Have you heard? Proactive is better than ever. Stay tuned for a 100% risk-free million bottle giveaway with free shipping. Do you have troubled skin, acne? With Proactive, your acne can heal and you can prevent new breakouts. Call now for your 100% risk-free trial giveaway of Proactive, including 2 free extras and free shipping. Visit getproactive.com or call 1-800-747-2861. That's 1-800-747-2861.
The following is a paid commercial program. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and not necessarily those of 96 K-Rock and the Beasley Broadcast Group.
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow. Recovery starts right now. Here to help, it's Rated R for Recovery on 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Day at a time. We'll have him on one day.
All right.
We will. Oh, yes, we will.
Can't wait for the day.
Welcome, listeners, to Rated R for Recovery on 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com. I'm an alcoholic that doesn't drink, a drug addict that doesn't use, and a dead man that walks amongst the living. And this is by no righteous deed of my own, and my name is Fletch.
Fletch. I'm just a lonely petunia in an onion patch. Garden variety drunk. My name's Joy Thomas.
All right. Good morning, everybody. 277 or 775-9600. Troy will answer the phone and put you through to us. Once again, 277 or 775-9600. We'd like to give a special shout out to the people at Grace Church making breakfast for all the parishioners that will be attending the 8:30, the 10 o'clock, or the 11:30 service at the Cape Coral campus of Grace.
Save some eggs.
Yeah. Well, I eat eggs. We have a great promotion that is taking place, whether it be Troy is going to put it online as well as being it over the air. The March 9th at the Sidney and Byrne Davis Arts Center.
Beautiful building.
It is.
My favorite building in Fort Myers.
It used to be something different. What was it before? Brian, do you know?
No.
All right. That's all right. Let's shut you off for a minute. Okay. So the promotion is the All-Star Jam.
I want to go.
The All-Star Jam is members of the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, who else? Rick Derringer, members of Bob Marley's Wailers, the JBs.
James Browns.
And members of the band Boston, along with my friend Danny Bissell on lead vocals, he's tremendous because Brad Delp is dead, and he was the lead singer of Boston. The lead singer of the Doobie Brothers was a number of different people, along with Michael McDonald. He won't be there, and nor will the other guys. And the lead singer of Steely Dan was Donald Fagen, and he won't be there. So Danny is
Is Steely Dan one of the bands?
Yeah. Jeff Baxter, Skunk.
All right.
Guitar player.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Lead guitar player for Can't Buy a Thrill, Countdown. No, not Can't Buy a Thrill. Countdown to Ecstasy and Pretzel Logic. I can't think of what else.
All I know is I see Steely Dan every time they come to town.
He is the only.
I'm there.
He is the only human being that has. Maybe that's not right. I should watch myself. But the Muppets created a person after Skunk, or a puppet, a Muppet. You know the band on the Muppets? You know the band?
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
there's one of the guitar player has this big handlebar mustache. The Muppet does.
Hey, what show is this?
Rated R for Recovery
Oh,
on
okay.
96K Rock and 96krock.com. Let me get through with our promotion.
Okay.
Good Lord. So, where was I? Okay, members of
Muppets.
the
I don't
Doobie
know,
Brothers, Boston, Steely Dan, the JBs, the Wailers, you will get backstage passes. You will get VIP seating and a meet and greet with the artists, providing you are the number one, what do you say, the highest bidder. Because this money, Bill Johnson, who's the promoter, wants this money to go to a recovery-related thing.
Entity.
Thank you. In Lee County.
Hey, we're a recovery-related entity.
We are, but we're not going to take the money. We could. We won't, though.
No, we won't.
I used to. As our guest will tell you about. Anyway, so the highest bidder at 277 or 775 9600 will get these tickets. These tickets are worth their weight in gold, I believe.
All right, I'm with you.
All right. 277 or 775 9600. You can bid on these tickets March 9th, the All-Star Jam at the Sidney and Byrne Davis Arts Center. Please call, make a bid. And in the studio right now is my dear friend and defense.
Me? No.
Well, you're my dear friend, yes, but our guest.
Oh, all right.
It's not all about you,
Okay.
young lady. My dear friend and defense attorney, criminal defense attorney, Brian Edwards. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Talk into the microphone, sir.
Nope, thank you.
Yeah, there you go. All right. You can move it, too. If you're not comfortable, you can move the microphone at any time.
Yeah, this is too fancy for me.
Brian, you, let's see. So, 2000, what year was it when we met? Not
12
when we
years
met.
ago.
No, that's when we met. When did I call you
When did
from?
you rip him off?
When did I?
When did you start? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
You really got to really push buttons,
It's a
don't you?
joke. No, stay
You
with
do.
me.
You have to
stay
do.
with me.
I'm right here. I'm not
Okay.
going anywhere.
All right.
I work here.
I'm for you. I'm not against you.
Yeah, well,
Seriously.
good,
Okay.
good. So I had been arrested for some Grand Theft Auto.
Well,
Was the first time you
no, we actually met.
Leave it to the clearer heads
yeah,
to prevail.
There you go. I met you in 2004, and you were going to be the DJ for my wedding.
I was the DJ at your wedding.
And at the time, I had no idea you, of course, were a drug addict.
And how did you find that out?
A couple years later,
Uh-huh.
you called and said, "I'm John Nichols. Remember me?" And I thought about it for a second. You go, I DJ'd your wedding. Oh, yeah.
Did I show up to your wedding?
Yes, you showed up.
Tell the
Amazing.
story
What do
about.
you mean, yes, you showed up. I did a good job.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
let's move on to
tell-
the criminal stuff.
No, tell about the money first. It's a good story.
Okay.
And it means something.
I got a call from John about 3 or 4 weeks before. No, JT. Sorry.
Fletch.
Or Fletch.
Fletch. There we go.
Good Lord. God help
And
us.
you had asked, I paid you $450, and you asked if I
Nice.
can prepay that.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I can't do that. And you made up a story about
My niece being in
yeah,
jail.
something.
That was
yeah,
my traditional story.
No, that is what you used. And so,
Yeah.
I you know,
Lies.
talked to my future wife about it, and I said, I'll give it to you, but you better show up. And you did.
Well, good.
But I probably wouldn't have given it to you if I'd known you were a drug addict.
I wouldn't.
Well,
It isn't accustomed to pay people before the services. I've found out.
Sometimes people give deposits.
Especially at weddings. yeah,
Especially at weddings.
yeah, John, your deposit was 100%.
Yes.
That was just,
Yeah, that. So I probably spent that on crack cocaine and hookers, and but at least I showed up for your
That's
wedding.
right. You showed up. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right.
But see, that wasn't always the case. So then we flash forward now 2 years, and where you get a call from me?
I get a call from, actually it was your sister. Your
okay.
sister called and told me that you were in jail, and so I went and visited you, and that's where I learned you actually had a real problem. And yeah, I did what I could to try to help you.
My sister, I love my sister, first of all.
And she loves you.
me, yes. But she is not the softer, gentler, kinder, always in jail, please help him. Do you remember speaking to her and what she said?
Oh, very vividly, yes.
Tell the listeners what she said.
She basically said
Leave
that
him there?
He's a drug addict. He's been doing this for 30 plus years. And what I laughed at, listen, I was a defense attorney for 4 years at that time, 3 years. And I had never heard of a drug addict in their 50s who had a problem for 30 years. And I said, you got to be kidding me.
And that is because
They die.
Yes.
They
Yes,
go to
sir.
jail, they go to prison, or they die. I mean, or they get better. But
And then you never hear from them again.
exactly, and that's nice. I mean, I see that too, and that's wonderful. And JT is one of those guys. I'm proud to say now.
JT has morphed into Fletch, Fletcher P. Henderson, and you can call me Fletch.
I
but
kind of
that's-
like JT.
Well, yeah, but
I did too.
Well, I'm glad.
However, those are my initials also, as
So
you know,
we-
Joy Thomas.
okay.
So we had to
see.
pick another name for this Yahoo. over here.
Brian Edwards is a defense attorney in Fort Myers, Florida, and you can contact him how?
You can call me at 239-791-9463, and I have an answering service 24 hours a day.
You
and,
do?
Of course, my secretary there during the week to answer phones.
And you have.
And then you have a website.
I do.
He does.
It's www.brianedwards.com or I believe it's FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com. That's it.
You need to know your website.
Yeah. Well.
Well, the other one is a link.
Yeah. The
Okay.
other one's
He
a
knows
link.
his website.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you represented me. They wouldn't let me out, as I recall. Remember, you tried to get me out, but they wouldn't let me out.
That's right. And you ended up having to spend, if my memory serves me correctly, 120 days in jail, which honestly for a felony wasn't bad. You had to drive on suspended.
I want to tell you something. 277 or 775-9600. Questions for Brian Edwards, whether it be yourself or a family member, please give us a call. Also, you can bid on the Sidney and Byrne Davis Art Center tickets for the All-Star Jam at that same number. Just tell Troy which one you want to talk about when you call in. What was I going to say? You know, the defense attorneys, I love this, okay? I always love this. First of all, I believe that jail is part of my story, and it helped save me.
Yes.
I believe that. I
do
believe
too.
that. However, I used to get a kick because I used to go to jail quite often.
Mm-hmm.
It was a regular part of my
It
life.
becomes a normal activity.
It became a normal activity. I hated it, though. I hated it. And that was part of the saying, I don't want to do this anymore. However, the defense attorneys and the COs and the judges and whoever else is connected with the jail system that's not incarcerated would always say, 120 days? That's not bad. You realize if you've gone to jail before, and I've gone to jail longer than 120 days, that 24 hours is too long. And I used to say that to you while you're on the phone on the other side of the glass saying, what are you talking about? It's not that bad. Anyway, so you get to see, you helped me. We've remained friends into my sobriety, and you have seen all sorts of devastation as the result of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, and before we move on, I want to get back to your sister and what she said and just make a point about families.
Basically, it's not about just the addict. I mean, it's so much bigger than the addict. In fact, usually the family cares a lot more than the addict does. I can't tell you how many times each month I have a family in my office who is devastated because somebody they love is in jail and they can't get them out, and they want to do whatever they can to help them. And it destroys lives. I mean, it does. I see people at their very lowest. They come in my office. I always tell a joke to my wife someday. I'd like to open a restaurant because everyone's happy after they eat a nice big steak. And when you're in my office,
It's usually not the best day of your life.
It's not. I shake their hand. Hi, Brian Edwards. Nice to meet you. How are you? I'm just pleasantries, and it's awkward because of course I know they're feeling awful. You don't call me because everything's okay. You call me because you're in a real jam, and it devastates lives. I mean, it does. And like I said, it's so much bigger than just a person.
And so John's sister was happy that he had been arrested, or
Whose sister? Fletch's sister. Okay.
Fletch's sister. All right, we gotta
I'm gonna
work
have to
on
start. I got a delay button here. I'm gonna have to start using it on you.
Please do.
Your husband just texted and
Just
said we
throw
should wear
something at me.
name tags.
that. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
277 or 775-9600 is the number.
I just want to make an Al-Anon point, and I want to talk about how some people are devastated, but the person in jail calls and says, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And everybody thinks that that's the most important thing. Get them out.
Well, it is to the person.
Right, to the person it is, but it may not be in their best interest to get them right out right this minute.
Absolutely. I have families who I say I can do a bond motion for them if they're stuck with what's called hold no bond, if the judge denied you bond. And a lot of times they'll say no. Just, let them do their time. And, of course, the person doesn't want to hear that.
Well, and somewhere between let them rot and get them out right this minute, put my house up, here's everything I own, somewhere between those two extremes is probably where most people lie.
Of course.
And the thing about families being more devastated, that you also refer them to Al-Anon.
Oh, yes. One of the, I don't want to say it's a problem, but it is. In Southwest Florida here, we have some very good facilities. There are a number of 28-day programs. If I need somebody who needs the detox and then wants to go through a 28-day program, that's fine. We can do that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Al-Anon meetings and a lot of AA meetings, but there's very little long-term care here locally. I send people routinely over to the other coast, and of course that's hard on families because they can't see them there.
Right.
And
Do you try to turn it around? Like if somebody comes in, I'm devastated. My son, my daughter, my sister, my brother, my father, my mother, my cousin, my coworker is in jail. Do you try to turn it around though and say, look, this person could be dead. This person is a very serious drug addict and is now alive. Yeah, and you'll be able to see this person again.
Yes, I do that, and sometimes the people need it. Sometimes the family already knows that. Yeah, but a lot of times they don't. And yes, that is a big part of it. Look, jail is a lot of times a stop, and it's a fork in the road. And sometimes I've seen people get better because of jail. John, you're part of those that crowd, really. And sometimes it goes the opposite way. I've had a number of clients who are no longer with us because of their addiction. And I got to tell you, that's very difficult when I get a phone call, especially if it's somebody pleasant. Because a lot of drug addicts and alcoholics are pleasant
very
people.
Pleasant. We're nice people.
We can either be angrily manipulative or pleasantly manipulative or whiningly manipulative or just whatever it takes.
Well, the angry ones are what we're going to talk about next when we come back after break. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery. The number here is 277 or 775-9600. Troy's on the line. We're taking your phone calls. Once again, bid on the tickets. This is what you get. You get 2 VIP seating tickets. You get backstage passes. You get a meet and greet with the artists. This is all for the All-Star Jam, March 9th. It's a Saturday at the Sidney and Byrne Davis Arts Center. The number to bid on these tickets and the proceeds from the bids will go to a recovery-related facility. 277 or 775-9600. We'll be right back with Rated R for Recovery on 96K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Lex and Terry, 6 to 10 p.m.
Lil Wayne, have you seen Lil Wayne talking about the NBA and Chris Bosh?
When I say you say NBA. When I say you say Miami Heat. And I Chris Bosh wife.
Wow.
That's a bitch move.
And Lex and Terry on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen. but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254. Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934.
If you're looking for a place to find recovery, please consider the 1149 Foundation, located at 50 Pine Island Drive in North Fort Myers in the AutoZone Plaza. We currently have 3 meetings per day at noon, 5:30, and 8 p.m. We've been offering this area a safe place for over 20 years. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, you're not alone and are welcome at the 1149 Foundation. Come check us out or call 677-6107. That's 677-6107.
Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers.
A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing has been serving Lee County for over 7 years. Commercial and residential landscaping is our specialty. We also have an experienced pressure cleaning staff as well. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing offers a free on-site estimate and is available by calling 738-9009. That's 738-9009. We are grateful for the opportunity to help beautify your property. Call today, 738-9009. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing.
That's gonna leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to DHAB Your Automotive Rehab, your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, DHAB can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. DHAB Your Automotive Rehab is located at 2534 Highland Street, 1 block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call DHAB Your Automotive Rehab at 332-1813.
My name is April, and I'm an addict. I totaled my car and trashed the best guy I ever had before I got help. Thank God for Swaffis. They saved my life. Now I go for counseling once a week, and life is good.
Alcohol and drug problems don't have to ruin your life. Swaffis has outpatient, detox, and residential programs for all. Addiction is a disease. Recovery is possible. We will help. Call 332-6989 now or visit us online at swfas.org. Designs that are enduring. Designs that are engaging. Designs from Ensight. Ensight is a leading Florida-based design, planning, and engineering firm offering innovative planning, landscape architecture, civil engineering, and more. Whether it's a place to live, work, learn, shop, or play, let the award-winning design team at Ensight help you achieve today's needs and tomorrow's possibilities. Call Ensight at 226-0024 or online at en-site.com.
Feeling alone? Feeling lost? Feeling helpless? We're here to help. Call 277 or 775-9600. Rated R for Recovery on 96 K-Rock.
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars. Oak tree in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke.
277 or 775-9600. That's the number to bid on the tickets for the All-Star Jam. It's also the number to get through to Rated R for Recovery on 96K-Rock and 96KRock.com. Our guest in the studio is defense attorney Brian Edwards. You can also ask him any defense-related questions you might have. My name's Flesh. Alongside is Joy.
Hey.
And Brian is our guest. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still here. I haven't left.
We encourage you to call for these for the bids on these tickets. This is a wonderful cause. You'll be able to help a recovery-related charity, and we'll give all that money
Yes, we will.
to whatever I don't know how we'll pick it. We might let the listener pick it if you're recovery savvy. Otherwise, we'll let you know on the air where that money is going to, and and then we'll hold ourselves accountable. And accountability is the biggest part, or a big part, of recovery. What do I do when no one's looking? What do I do? What do I do when I tell you I'm going to try to stay clean and sober, but I just can't?
You're trying, you're lying.
Well, I just can't do it. What I was about to say, and absolutely. And one of the great accountability not organizations. One of the greatest accountability programs that I was involved in was Felony Drug Court. Tell us a little bit about that, Brian.
Felony Drug Court is a program that was created about 8-9 years ago, and Judge Voles actually was the first judge who did it. And I remember seeing it on TV, honestly, the first time, and I saw a graduating class going up and shaking Judge Voles' hand. And I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. I didn't find out more about that. I looked into it. I had some friends who, in the state attorney's office, who the program is run through, I talked to, and I found out it essentially was a way to get yourself treatment that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I mean, some of these treatment facilities out here will run you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for the type of treatment that you get in drug court. And so I watched it, and I had a couple of clients go through it, and I saw it help people. And I became a big fan of it because of that.
What does it do? Walk us through the process of what Felony Drug Court is. First of all, if you're a violent offender, it does not apply.
That is right. They will only take people. They will not take people who are selling drugs because
oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Did you say not take people who are selling drugs?
Selling drugs, yeah.
I thought the only criteria for not being able to get in was a violent offense,
well,
no?
A violent offense, obviously, you're not going to get in. They don't want violent people there. But if it is somebody who's just selling drugs and they don't have a problem and they just want to get out of going to prison, okay?
Yeah.
They're not going to get in.
Right.
And it's a very popular program. It's tough to get into. There are times that they won't take people because they're too full. They can't manage. But anyway, it gives the person a choice. Either you go to prison or you get better. And so if you really want to get better, here's an opportunity to do so. And it's not going to – it does cost money when they put you up in a halfway house and that type of thing, but they make you get a job.
Right.
And so you start paying for it. It starts giving you responsibility.
So you have a place to live.
Yes.
You have gainful employment.
Right.
And then you have people that you have to be accountable to on a regular basis.
Absolutely. There is basically what I call the drug court team who is reporting to the judge every week. When you go in, you start having to report weekly, and they will give you a report. And if the report isn't satisfactory, you go back to jail to think about what you can do to get a satisfactory report.
I am a graduate of Felony Drug Court myself, so it helped me a great deal. It gave me that accountability. I do well under supervision. So if I work for you, I do well, not as a boss, but as an employee because
many alcoholics and addicts do very well when they show up.
Well, I want to see one of my character defects is I'm a people pleaser. So if I'm working for you or if you're above me, I always wanted to please my father. And I never thought that I got the acceptance and the accolades from him that I wanted.
Right, but what about those who flaunt authority, who don't want anyone telling them what to do? What about those kind of people?
Well, let's ask Brian. How do those people?
How do they fare?
They are the ones that have to go back and sit and think about it.
Well, yeah. Look, if you can't submit yourself to some authority, you're going to end up in prison. I mean, long story short, in drug court or not, because there's rules.
Exactly.
Whether you're an addict or not, if you can't submit to, and we all have to submit to some sort of authority, whether it be your wife, your boss, the government, whatever.
277 or 775-9600 is the number if you have a question for Brian Edwards, defense attorney, or if you want to bid on the tickets for the All-Star Jam on March 9th. Once again, 277 or 775-9600. Drug court really, really, really helped me. It was one of the tools. They talk about tools in recovery, meetings, sponsor, getting a job, getting back into society. But drug court really, I was fortunate to be an indigent person and get accepted into drug court because I was a street variety addict that didn't have any income at all.
And that's what it's designed for. I mean, look, most drug addicts lose everything. They sell their TVs. They sell their
and we say that
bicycles.
we give it away.
Yeah.
Well,
I know exactly where it all went to.
Yeah.
Flacco got the car. Dredd got the
Yeah.
got the bank account.
It's like I didn't lose it. I know where it went.
Right.
So it's not uncommon for me to see somebody in jail who's lost everything. And typically, it's, again, the family, mom, dad calling me going, listen, I have my son who's stuck in Lee County Jail, and they're the ones who end up getting stuck with the attorney's fees, and just, please help them. And there are very few drug addicts I know, true addicts, that have a lot left. Now, there are people who, certainly wealthy people may have a drug problem, but they're typically not the ones who.
Well, and
get
if
in
they
trouble.
are wealthy, they're not for long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Sooner or later.
Either they die or they get better. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's the hardest thing they say in recovery is to be a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Or to be a wealthy person to get sober.
Or to be too smart. The smart ones, the pretty ones, the rich ones.
But the smartness only goes so far. I realized I thought I was smarter than you. See, that was one of my problems.
Oh, me too.
I thought I could manage this time after time again. I could
I'll just
outwit
figure
you.
it out.
I could outwit you. I could outtalk you, and just give me time. And it just didn't work.
Right.
Do you see? What about the? You know what? What my heart, as I drive around Lee County, and was a person of the street, that I see some that I knew and some that I don't know, and that's the women out there that give more than money to get their drugs of choice.
And men do that too, don't you know?
Well, I know that, but I don't know it from that aspect, though. I don't know it. I wasn't a prostitute, so I gave it away.
Yeah. If anybody would have paid for this.
When you're desperate, you'll do what you do. I mean,
do you see a lot of that?
Yes. A lot of times, when you've spent your money, when your TV's gone, when your car's gone,
right.
You've lost your job because you lose responsibility. And this all can start innocently. I mean, I see quite a few people who may be in their 30s, sometimes 40s, who are normally real responsible people. And it starts off when they get in a car accident and they start taking a painkiller for their lower back because they hurt their back. And so somebody who's been responsible for 20, 30 years as an adult working, all of a sudden, they don't realize it. They will start popping pills.
And that cannot be underestimated, by the way, the amount of people.
Yeah.
That's the new epidemic.
Yes.
It's sad because, like I said, they don't even see it coming on a lot of times. And I had a lady in my office who was 35, 38, had a mother of 3 who, by all accounts, was normal, quote unquote normal, who, ended up with an addiction. And I had to explain to her, look, she's in drug court now. I believe she's close to graduating. This is a problem. If you can't stop doing this, I mean, you're going to end up in here.
I did my drug of choice because I liked it, the way it made me feel, and it makes me wonder, and I don't really understand it because this is coming from there's no part of me that's non-addict, I guess, but it's very funny how I can see. Well, it probably I'm having a conversation with myself over here, but that's okay. I'm a working guy. I'm 45 years old. I'm a working woman. I have children. I have a job. I'm very successful, or I'm comfortable, and then I get hurt, and I start taking these pills, and I let them take control of me. If I'm that healthy, where I am a productive member of society, I wonder how that takes over my life.
Like I said, usually they don't see it coming, and there are sometimes people realize it. And they'll say, you know what, I need to stop taking this.
I need help right away.
And some people, can see that choice coming, and they can make that decision, and they may need a little help or whatever, and that's one thing. However, I do believe that some of us are simply wired differently, and that it takes you before you notice, and then by the time you notice, you've lost the choice. It's too late. Like, now what do I do?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that when we come back from break. 277 or 775-9600 is the number. Once again, we are taking bids on tickets to March 9th All-Star Jam at the Sidney and Vern Davis Arts Center. You will get 2 backstage or VIP seating. You will get a meet and greet with the artists, and you will get a wonderful meal as well. And that is members of the Doobie Brothers, Boston, Steely Dan, Bob Marley's Wailers, the JBs, and Rick Derringer. All that for just calling in and making a donation for recovery. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery on 96 KROC and 96krock.com. We'll be back in a minute.
From the huge studios, WRXK, Bonita Springs, Naples, Fort Myers, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, 96 KROC and 96krock.com. Talk that rocks.
Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934. Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. If you're looking for a place to find recovery, please consider the 1149 Foundation, located at 50 Pine Island Drive in North Fort Myers in the AutoZone Plaza. We currently have 3 meetings per day at noon, 5:30, and 8 p.m. We've been offering this area a safe place for over 20 years. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, you're not alone and are welcome at the 1149 Foundation. Come check us out or call 677-6107. That's 677-6107.
I didn't know where to turn when our son started doing drugs. I didn't know our medicine cabinet was what got him started. I didn't know that help was available at SWAFUS. SWAFUS has a residential program just for kids 17 and younger and weekly group therapy. The help is affordable too. I'm much smarter now, thanks to SWAFUS.
Addiction is a disease. Recovery is possible. We will help. Call 332-6989 now or visit us online at swfas.org.
A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing has been serving Lee County for over 7 years. Commercial and residential landscaping is our specialty. We also have an experienced pressure cleaning staff as well. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing offers a free on-site estimate and is available by calling 738-9009. That's 738-9009. We are grateful for the opportunity to help beautify your property. Call today, 738-9009. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing.
That's gonna leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to DHAB Your Automotive Rehab, your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, DHAB can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. DHAB Your Automotive Rehab is located at 2534 Highland Street, 1 block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call DHAB Your Automotive Rehab at 332-1813.
Designs that are enduring. Designs that are engaging. Designs from Insight. Ensight is a leading Florida-based design, planning, and engineering firm offering innovative planning, landscape architecture, civil engineering, and more. Whether it's a place to live, work, learn, shop, or play, let the award-winning design team at Ensight help you achieve today's needs and tomorrow's possibilities. Call Ensight at 226-0024 or online at en-site.com.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254. Call 277 or 775-9600. Now back to Rated R for Recovery on 96K Rock and 96krock.com.
I caught you knocking at my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. I hit the city and I lost my band. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done.
277 or 775-9600. We are rated R for Recovery on 96K Rock and 96krock.com. Once again, call us now and get a chance to be the highest bidder for the All-Star Jam tickets at the Sidney and Byrne Davis Arts Center. You will get backstage passes, a meet and greet with the audience or the members of the band, which is cool, especially if you're a classic rock fan. And you will also get VIP seating and food. Food is always good. Free. What's the best kind of food? Free food. Troy is behind the phones, and he will be taking your calls at 277 or 775-9600. And then you can either come on the air with us, talk recovery, talk about if you have a question for our guest, who is Brian Edwards, defense attorney. Brian, give us your contact information again, please.
It is 239-791-9463. That is my telephone number. And it is www.fortmyerscriminallawfirm.com or www.lawofficeofbrianedwards.com.
And so we were talking about your experience. You've got 12 years.
Yes.
As a defense attorney. And before that...
No, 12 years in total. I was a prosecutor, yes.
Okay.
I worked for the state attorney's office here for 3 years. And after that is when I opened up my own law firm.
So you've been on both sides of the
I have.
aisle, is that what it's called?
I have, yeah. I loved being a prosecutor. It was a great experience, something I would never take back. And, you get to wear the white hat and see things, but you do get to see it from a different side.
Right.
I really didn't get a chance to really know what an addict looks like when I was a prosecutor. I saw addicts all the time. I actually ran the drug docket. There used to be a docket here. I had half of the drug cases in Lee County.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all I did for maybe 11 or 12 months of my stint over there. And,
did you see any of the same people?
That's kind of the joke.
Like again and again?
When you're a prosecutor, you do something called intake.
Mm-hmm.
Intake is a process when you get the police report, put it together, look through, make sure there's probable cause, et cetera. If all that happens, you file charges. I would see the same names over and over. A joke I used to make with some of my fellow colleagues was, if you didn't know any better, you'd think Fort Myers was a town of 500 people.
Right.
Because you see the same people over and over again. And it's a common problem because addiction, it will drag you down.
And it touches every area of your life and the lives of the people around you. And you said something about the crime and how much percentage of crimes were also drug and alcohol related?
I would be willing to venture a guess, probably somewhere between 90 and 95% of everything in the system has something to do with drugs or alcohol.
As far as being under the influence when something happened, or?
Not necessarily. In other words, you can have a theft crime. Virtually all theft crimes are rooted in drugs, or if not, they're juveniles, teenagers. But of the adult crimes, most of the thefts, a very high percentage of them have to do with drugs. Even things like leaving the scene of an accident, where you might think, well, that was somebody who just, they maybe were in a hurry or didn't want to get in trouble with the insurance company.
In a hurry.
Yeah.
That's what I used for an excuse. I was in a hurry. I weigh 120 pounds. I've got no teeth, and I had an appointment I needed to make.
Yeah, but you can't get a DUI, right?
Well,
That's right.
But that's what they're afraid of, and so the 95%.
I'd be willing to.
Well, you would know.
And he doesn't have numbers, statistics, but he's just talking about in his experience what he has seen.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's a common thought. The other attorney friends I have, we share the same view. I mean, there's very little. Every once in a while, you'll see one where I suspect has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol, but look, most of it does. If drugs and alcohol, if everyone stopped using, the criminal justice system wouldn't be able to support itself.
Wow.
I mean, there wouldn't be a whole lot there. I mean, we'd have fewer judges, fewer prosecutors, fewer defense attorneys. That's for sure.
Why did you leave the one side to go one side of the fence to go to or one team to go to the other team? Even though both teams are good teams. We like both teams.
They both are.
They're both good.
I had to make a decision. I have student loans. I'm the oldest of 6 children. My parents had 5 others younger than me, obviously. So I had to get a lot of loans to go to school, and frankly, my deferments ran out. So I had to make a choice. Am I gonna stay here and make a career out of this? And I would probably have to suffer for quite some time if I did financially. Or I can leave, and I didn't realize at the time that I was really making a choice to be able to help people, because that's what I think of myself. When you say defense attorney, you get to know the person. As a prosecutor, you get to help people too. You get to help victims. That's how.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, you get to know those people. And look, it's awful when somebody steals your stuff. I mean, John, you were usually the stealer, not the stealee.
Oh, yes. You're right, sir.
But, the stealee goes through a lot too. And I didn't really appreciate it at the time. But now I look at what I do is I get to help families in crisis. That's where I get my joy out of this.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know if we have a saying. I have a saying. There's no grace in God gives us grace, but there's no grace in DOC. DOC, for those of you listening that don't know what it is Department of Corrections. The part of the Department of Corrections, in my opinion, and probably it's may or may not be true, is the prosecuting attorney. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, look, the Department of Corrections is not a nice place. It's not a place you want to be.
No, it's not.
And it shouldn't be.
But it's the result of my own actions. It's a consequence.
Well, and if you're out of control, it's a big stop sign. I
just wondered why the prosecuting attorneys, when I was charged with possession of cocaine, which is which I guess the direct charge is a victimless crime, right?
It is.
All right. So why did they always want to put me in jail and not treatment?
A lot of people have a number of choices when they are faced in the criminal justice system. There are some people who go, I would rather go to jail than get probation. Chances are, if you're first
I was like that.
Yeah. Chances are, if you're first or second
there you
time.
have it.
Yeah. Because I wanted to get out and use again, and I knew I would use again. So if you gave me probation, or what we call paper, I would violate that. I never did, because I never took it. I just sat and did the 30 days or 60 days and then got out and did what I did all over again.
And that's always a consideration. If you know you're going to go back to doing what you were going to do,
absolutely,
there's no way you can keep it up for that long.
Absolutely. So anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, but prosecutors don't put people in jail. The people do. They make a decision. Like I said, it's usually not a first or second or even third time offender that ends up in jail or prison. Usually it's the person who won't stop using drugs is usually what happens. If it's a nonviolent offense, and a lot of the violent offenses are, drug induced or substance abuse related. Look, just about all the domestic violence calls, somebody's been drinking, somebody's been using.
you are not a counselor. You're not a doctor. You're a lawyer,
right,
and a good one. And we like you. We love you. So you have a mother that calls you and says, my son's in jail, and he had taken my car this morning, and when I woke up, it was gone. And come to find out that he was arrested for possession of whatever narcotic it was, and he was in the possession of my vehicle without permission. What should I do? What kind of advice do you? What kind of advice? You can only come from a legal standpoint, or do you come from a moral standpoint as well?
You can do both. I mean, absolutely. I mean, you have to separate. Look, from a legal standpoint, there are defenses. You have constitutional rights. The one great thing about our country is you are protected from a lot of things you're not. Other third world countries just don't have. For instance, in America, you're presumed innocent. That's not always the case. So you explain the legal standpoint to them, and then a lot of times when I'm done, I'll go off the record. Look, I might be able to help your son or daughter out, but they have a problem, and the problem's bigger than their possession of cocaine charge. You need to talk to them and see if they're ready to get help, because that's the thing. A lot of times the parents want them to get help, but they're not ready.
And recovery is ultimately for the person who wants it, not the person who needs it. Many people need it, but only the few who really want it are able to stay. And I wanted to mention that I know a handful of people who've gone through drug court and graduated and that are still sober. And Fletch and I do see the people on the other side, whereas if you're in the legal profession, if you help them, if they never come back again, you're not really sure what happened to them.
Well, I'm proud to say I have a number of people like Fletch over there who I do see on a regular basis, who will call once a year, every other year. Go, hey, listen, remember me? You helped me out. Thank you so much. People do get better, and you can get better, but you have to want to get better. And I don't see them in the legal sense anymore. I always tell people, when you're in my office, next time I see you, I want to see you at the mall or at the ball game. I don't want to see you in my office.
The Chamber of Commerce.
There you go.
Yeah, stuff like that. Well, it comes down to the fact that I can't live this way anymore, and I don't want to live this way anymore. Please help me. And it's all a question of surrender and help and taking that ego and that pride and having that smashed to the point where I'm going to go to any lengths. Not just hiring a defense attorney, but that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's when I walk out those doors of that jail, that prison, that institution. That's when the meat hits the fan.
And it can be the
Does
beginning.
meat hit the fan?
Everything hits the fan
All right.
sooner or later.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so that's when it starts. 277 or 775-9600. We've got about 4.5 minutes left to get your bid in, because the bids are very low right now, and we don't want to give these tickets away. These tickets include a meet and greet with the artist. This is the All-Star Jam, which is March 9th in front of the Sidney and Bern Davis Arts Center. It features members of Boston, the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Bob Marley's Wailers, the JBs, Rick Derringer, all for your dining and dancing pleasure in front of the Sidney and Bern Davis Arts Center. If you call 277 or 775-9600, you can make a bid on these tickets. If you're the highest bidder, and that money will go to recovery-related charity or facility, whatever I want to call it, you will get these tickets, and you will get to attend this event. And did I say what you get? Meet and greet with the artist?
Yep.
Backstage
yep.
passes and VIP seating. And if you have a question
food.
for what?
Food.
Free food.
Yeah.
Stuff they give famous people is usually good, too. You get the salmon and little trinkets and stuff like that. All right. So Brian Edwards is our guest. He's defense attorney for the Stars, and he Stars of Lee County, and of which he helped me. And he can be reached at
239-791-9463, or again, www.lawofficeofbrianedwards.com or www.fortmyerscriminallawfirm.com.
Okay, all right.
And you seem like a real person.
He is.
I take a lot of pride in sometimes people get a stigma of defense attorneys. They'll think, slimy, greaseball. I mean, what are you going to do to beat the system? And I take a lot of pride in not being that.
I think the ones that you talked about were more they get linked up with more of the guys that are, what do you call them when you're an accident?
Ambulance chasers, or
yeah, but what are those guys called? Personal injury attorneys.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
not
okay.
one of those. So
No.
you're a high class. Not that I shouldn't. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I guess if you get hurt, you need a lawyer. Whatever. Okay. So all right. So you helped me. You help a lot of other people. What would you suggest is the first step in retaining you? Just to call your office and talk to you?
We give a free consultation. If someone's out there and your son or daughter or brother or sister or loved one has a problem and they have gotten arrested, we give
Yeah.
a free consultation.
First step, get in trouble.
Oh, that's right too. That's right too. Okay. Do we have a caller on the line? Yeah, we do. So we have time to take a call, even if we go over. Is that what we're doing, Mr. Producer, sir? Yes, I believe so. Either that or it's just one of the many callers that are calling
That Troy
in.
takes care of for us
He does.
diligently.
That are calling in to actually put a bid in for the two tickets for the Sidney and Byrne Davis All-Star Jam, which is being held March 9th in front of the Sidney and Byrne Davis Arts Center, featuring lots of classic rockers, and then you get backstage passes, a meet and greet with the artists. What else? Food?
Free food.
Free food.
Do you have any final words for us? Anything else you want to?
If you have a problem or if a loved one has a problem, get help, because you don't want to be in my office. If you haven't gotten in trouble yet, stop it before you end up in my office or in someone else's office who does what I do.
I want to speak to you with all honesty as a past career criminal. That's easier said than done, and sometimes it takes a power greater than myself to help me do that. You've been listening to Rated R for Recovery on 96K Rock and 96krock.com. Join us next week at the same time, same channel, and we'll be happy to talk to you all about recovery.
Bye-bye.
The preceding has been a paid commercial.